my planning is correct, when you are seeing this, it should be Valentine's Day and or around Valentine's Day, unless you're seeing this like well past when I actually posted this, in which case it's maybe not Valentine's Day. I love the month of February. I love the month of February. I love a good romance read. I love everything about romance. I love everything about the month of February. I love it. I love it so, so much. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to find some really good romance books that would make you kick your feet and giggle. And so I was really thinking about it, and I think I want to just like read some books, see what gets me giggling. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because who doesn't love a good giggle? Who doesn't like to kick their feet when reading and giggle? You know? Also, I did my nails. Look how cute. So cute. I did a little poll. I did a poll on Instagram and on my YouTube channel, and you guys picked this one. And so this is what I did. But like, look, wait, hold on, focus. See these nails? Like, do you see how pretty they are? Like, you see those hearts? Looks so good. And then you see these. Listen, I'm not left-handed, okay? So they didn't come out as swell, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to find some good kick-worthy books. I've had this book for a while and it looks adorable. It's called My Mechanical Romance, and look, it's got like little video game thingies. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of Tomorrow. It's not anything to do with video games though, because I do actually like playing video games. My husband loves to game. He games a lot. I wanted to check this out. I actually don't know what this book is about, and it doesn't say what it's about on the back, so I have no idea. But it's a short read, and you know what they say about short reads? The better to kick your feet at. So this book is 264 pages. This book is 264 pages long, which means it's going to be really fast, and I feel as though the quick reads get right into the giggles. So I have high hopes for this one. I'm going to try this one out first and see where we land. Okay, let's go read. I'm sorry, I always want to like transition, but it's just, you know. So I am reading My Mechanical Romance because I wanted something that was going to, you know, make me giggle and squeal and kick my legs, and I don't know if this is doing it. It like started to in the beginning, but I am 90 pages in, and this, like, I'm 90 pages in. This is not that big of a book for starters. This is a 264 page book. Okay, so it's 264 pages. I'm 90 pages in, so I'm a pretty good chunk of the way in. What is that? Like 34%. So I've read about 34% of this, and I just want to say there is such an emphasis on the patriarchy in this book. Like, there's such an emphasis in it, and I get it, but at the same time, like, it's uncomfortable in a way, in a sense. I don't know. I'm not like thrilled by this. Why is this in my fluffy romance? I don't understand. So I feel like I misjudged this book. Also, this is not about video games. It's about robots, which is a lot cooler. This is kind of like high schoolers in STEM, which is so fun. I really love the whole premise of this book. I just feel like this book is a lot more political than I prefer. I don't really want politics in my books. I mean, fantasy politics, okay, that's fine. That's a whole different thing. That's a completely different genre of stuff, like that's fine. But like in romances, I just want silly little romances. And I understand that some people really do like the awareness in their novels. I am not that person because I am reading specifically to relax, specifically to disassociate, specifically to not have to be aware, if that makes any sense. I just like to read. If I wanted to be up to date with current politics in this world, I would go to the news and I would watch the news, or I would read a newspaper or something like that. I just, if it's my hobby, I don't want, you know what I mean? It's kind of irritating after a while. Like, I just wanted to have fun. Those are my thoughts as of right now. I do like these characters. Like, I like Belle in the sense that she is a very high school girl to me. She is one of those people that are like, she doesn't want to voice how she's actually feeling. Her parents are divorced, and it's very weird because she's very conflicted. She still likes her dad, even though it is very clearly her dad's fault for the divorce. And so she feels conflicted because her mom is so heartbroken, but she still likes her dad. And her brother ends up moving in with their dad, and it's just like this weird conflict, and she doesn't know what to say because she doesn't want to upset anyone, so she tries not to say anything, and she gives these like half sentences. That's a reoccurring thing with her character, is that she just gives half sentences and then it just kind of peters out, and she just like is unsure of what to say. And then you've got Teo, and I like his character because he is such a bold character who is clearly taking on way too much and is feeling the weight of that, but doesn't know how to give some of that away. He doesn't know how to delegate. And so when he takes on more responsibility, he just can't delegate it to anyone else. They're both on this robotics team. Teo, I believe, is the captain of the robotics team, and he's led them to winning, I think, 2 years in a row now, which is incredible, absolutely amazing. The thing is that other people have ideas, and he's just unwilling to listen to them, unwilling to even give them the time of day, because he just wants to win. And in order for them to win, he's just got to do it himself, and then they will just be there when he goes to accept the trophy. And that's how it kind of is in this story. And it's interesting to have these two characters together, where Belle has so many great ideas, and she's so frustrated because no one is giving her any credit. Nobody's listening. Nobody's taking her seriously. And Teo is looking at her like, I'm asking you for your opinion. And she's like, yeah, but do you actually want that opinion? I'm not sure, because it doesn't feel like you do. I like the characters. I like the premise of the book. I just don't like the awareness where everything's going. It's almost like being shoved down my throat, where it's like, hey, I just wanted something fluffy and that would make me kick my feet and giggle. I am going to continue because, I mean, I'm 30%, so you might as well. Is this something that's going to make me giggle and kick my feet? No, I don't think it will. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe the next 70% will like throw me for a loop or something. I don't know. Okay, ignore this. Ignore all of this. Anyways, I finished this book, and I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Was it swoon worthy? There were parts of this where I was like, wow, amazing, love it. And then there was a lot of parts of this where I was like, unnecessary, why are we here? What's going on? I'm very confused as to the plot of this because I didn't feel like this got resolved. Like, the whole point of this was one thing, and then the ending happens, and I was like, so we just don't get a happy ending? Like, is this supposed to be realistic? Is this supposed to be one of those things where it's like, oh, it's like what really would happen? Because that's not what I want in my fiction. I want fiction. So, I don't know. I give this 3 stars. It did what it needed to do. Was it my favorite book in the entire world? No. But I am glad that I read it because I really liked the cover. And this was a book that I kept wanting to be like, oh, I want to read that, I want to read that, I want to read that. So I'm glad that I read it and got it off my physical TBR. But at the same time, like, am I glad that I read it? I don't know. So we're still on the hunt for a swoon-worthy romance to get us ready for Valentine's Day. And I have another book in mind. I'm gonna read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace because I hear miraculous things. That's a weird way to describe this. I hear very good things about this book. I hear nothing but good things. And people seem to love this. They say it's very swoon-worthy. And so I'm excited to read this one. My sticker is still on here. My 50% off, buy one, get one, 50% off is still on here because back in the day, I was trying to take this off and the book cover was coming off. So it's fine. It's fine. Just pretend that this is how I hold it. So we're gonna read Icebreaker and it's gonna be absolutely phenomenal. Actually, first I'm gonna feed the bunnies and clean out their hutch and then I'm gonna take a shower and then I'm gonna read Icebreaker and possibly feed the dogs and also the chickens. So anyways, everybody's getting fed. And then we're reading Icebreaker. Okay. So I finished Icebreaker just now and it was a choice. I don't think that this was my vibe. I think there were a lot of things about this that it just personally for me is not something that I was very interested in. I'm not going to tell you the whole book, but I will tell you the premise of the book. Basically, Anastasia, she is a figure skater and Nate is a hockey player. Anastasia has been seeing this guy named Ryan, but they aren't exclusive by any means. They just hook up. Like, they just hook up with each other and that's their thing. They also see other people, but they're best friends. So they still, like, even though he's like with somebody else, he's still like in her bed watching TV and stuff like that. So they're still friends. And then there's Nate, who also has conquests. This is all in the beginning, okay? This is all like in the very, very beginning. So then, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to explain this. Nate, one of his hockey players hooked up with this girl who had a boyfriend, but he didn't know until afterwards. And so then the boyfriend trashed their rink, their ice rink, and they couldn't practice for the championships. And so they go to the other rink because they have 2 rinks at this college campus. So they go to the other one, but Anastasia and her skating partner, Aaron, are trying to go to the Olympics together, so they need to like practice all that they can. And so they have to share the rink, and obviously that's like an issue. Anastasia is very controlling, I don't want to say controlling in a bad way either. I don't think it's bad that she's controlling, I think that's fine. But it's not in an evil way she's controlling. It's more of just like, she's very particular, and that sounds bad too. She has this planner and like everything is mapped out. Like every second of the day is in this planner. Everything's like in accordance to what's going on and all that stuff. And it's to get from point A to point B essentially. She wants to go to the Olympics. So she's working really hard to get there. It's not coming naturally to her like it would other people. So she's very dedicated. And I actually think that that's like one of my favorite things about her, is that she knows what it means to work really hard. I feel as though it is often portrayed, at least in books, that people who want to go somewhere need to like lighten up. For instance, her partner Aaron says that she's gained weight. Now this was like a weird spot for me, because he keeps saying that like anytime her body fluctuates a couple pounds, he says that she's too heavy to hold and do all of these tricks and stuff like that. And on the one hand, I very much understand where Aaron was coming from, where he was like, you're too heavy, I can't lift you, and it's not safe. Like, that's not a good thing. I can't lift you, which means you could fall, which means you could injure yourself. And this does happen. She does fall, she does injure herself. So these things do occur. It's the way he says it though. It's the way this happens that I'm like, that didn't feel good. I do feel as though there is a way to go about it, and then there's like a way not to do it. And I feel like he did it that way. Aaron ends up not being a good person at all. There's like a whole drama spiel with him. It's horrible. I think what I didn't vibe with in particular is I just didn't really mesh with the characters. Like, I didn't really get along with Nate or Anastasia or Lola or Ryan or Aaron or anyone, Robbie, Henry. I didn't really like find a character that I was like, wow, this person, I would be friends with them in real life. Like, I don't see me hanging out with any of these people. I understand that they're in college. I feel as though I just wouldn't have anything in common with these people. And I'm not saying that what they do is wrong. I'm just saying that I have nothing in common. I don't think a single one of these people would do a Twilight marathon with me, you know? So I just feel as though these are not people that I meshed well with, because I don't think we have anything in common. So for that, I don't feel like this book was for me. Now, if you are someone who is super extroverted and loves to go out and loves to party and have a good time, you know, with their friends and drink and all of that stuff, I think that this book would really be well for you. I just feel like I wasn't the market. I wasn't the market choice for this, which is kind of a bummer, because this was one of my anticipated reads last year. I think if I read this when I was 20 or 21, I would have been like, wow, this book is amazing. I think if I read this when I was like 21, I would have loved this book. I am gonna give it a 3-star, because I think it did what it needed to do, but it didn't make me like giggle or squeal or anything like that. Like, I just want like a really fun love story, and this didn't give that to me. So for that, I think I'm gonna give this 3 stars and just put it away and be done with it. I feel not good, because I just read 2 books that I was like really looking forward to, and they weren't great. So now I'm nervous, because the next book that I was like, well, maybe this will do it, is Butcher and Blackbird, Butcher and Blackbird. And I've heard really great things about this book, and people have been like, oh my gosh, it's so fun, it's so funny, like, it's about 2 serial killers who like kill other serial killers for the greater good and stuff. I want to try it because I heard it was good, but I'm gonna be sad if it's not. This book is 345 pages. I feel like I can read this in a couple hours, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sit down and read this one and see how I feel about it. I'm hoping that I like this. Because the first 2 were not my favorite. Maybe I'm in a book slump and I just don't like any book. I hope this gets me out of it then. All right, well, I'm gonna go read. my bedroom. I love this book so much so far. I am 200 pages in and I'm on chapter, I think 16. I'm on chapter 16 and oh my goodness, this book is so cute. Oh my gosh. It's so good. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna turn off the heater because we don't need the heater on right now. But first of all, this book is adorable. It is about Butcher and Blackbird who, for lack of a better word, put people to sleep, okay? They take bad people and they give them forever naps. And it's so funny. The chemistry between the two, the way that they just like intertwine, it's kind of a slow burn, but it's so it's just a wonderful slow burn. I really like this. I'm gonna be honest, I read it and I didn't realize how quickly I was getting through this book. And then I was like, oh, I should probably update. Like, I literally started reading and I was like, oh, I should probably like talk about where I'm at and give like a little bit of an update. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I don't know why that's on either. So there we go, better lighting. So anyways, I really love this book. I'm trying to like think of like ways that I can describe this book without giving anything away. I did show you guys the long list of content, trigger warnings, and all that stuff. I will say this book it's not very gruesome, except for that one scene. Except for the one scene. The accidental cannibalism scene, I could have done without that one. I will never be able to eat ice cream ever again. I feel like this isn't very dark and heavy, so I feel like this is kind of one of those books that teeters on that line where it's like, it's gonna affect people who are incredibly sensitive, but people who kind of like a good slasher film, like this isn't gonna bother anyone who likes horror movies. It's not gonna bother you at all. And it's probably not gonna bother a lot of people who enjoy a good thriller. It's probably not gonna bother you at all because I feel like this really does it's almost, I could see this becoming a television show. You know what I mean? Like that's the line that it straddles. It straddles between HBO Max and cable. Like it does a really good job straddling that line of like what's too far and what's not far enough. And I think it's very good. I really do. And I also think the romance is so fun. This is a book that is making me giggle. It's making me squeal. It's making me want to kick my feet. There have been many scenes where I just start laughing hysterically. It's wonderful. There's in the very beginning part of the book, it's literally the first chapter. They go out for lunch, okay? And the waitress is like staring at Butcher and he doesn't even acknowledge her, and Blackbird is like, does this happen so often that you're like desensitized to it? And he's like, to what? And she was like, oh no, it is, it's true. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I fall for that trope every time. When the girl is the only person in his universe and no one else exists, I melt. And so when that happened within the first 5 pages, I was like, well, we're done. We're done. I'm done. It was absolutely fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. This is such a good book. I'm gonna go finish this. I don't have too much more. Technically, it's 323 pages long. There is a bonus chapter in this book though. So there's a bonus chapter and that takes you to 345 pages. So I have either 123 or 145 pages left, depending on, I'm definitely gonna read the bonus chapter, let's be honest here, but yeah. So it should take me maybe 2 hours, if that. Also, the playlist is wonderful. It definitely takes your reading experience to a whole nother level. I am pretty sure from here on out, if a book doesn't have a playlist, I'm gonna be mad. Like, I'm gonna be mad about it. I need the playlist. I think it's so it really throws you in. It's almost identical to watching a movie with like the background soundtrack going on. It's perfection. Every song is perfect. And the best part is, at the very front, it tells you like when the songs are supposed to be playing for each chapter. That's genius. Like, that is so smart. I have nothing but good things to say about this book. I literally have, I cannot think of, well, except for that one scene, but I cannot think of any negative things to say, writing wise, plot wise. Like, I mean, it's so creative. It's so funny. It's so creative. I really like this book. I really like it. And now I'm kind of sad because there's only going to be 3. Like, it's going to be a trilogy and then that's it. And I don't know why, but that makes me upset. I don't like that. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go finish reading this. I am at my husband's gaming desk because his chair is so comfy. Don't tell him I said that, but his chair is very comfy. And so I'm going to finish reading this and then we'll wrap this up in a very nice bow. Okay. Know where to begin. I finished and this was phenomenal. It was absolutely amazing. It was everything I have ever wanted in a story. It's just truly over and above with this one. Over and above. I loved all of it. I was squealing, I was giggling, my feet were kicking. I'm giving this 4.5 stars only because I can't eat ice cream, and ice cream used to be my favorite food and I can't eat it anymore. But other than that, goodness, was this so fun. It was so cute, it was so whimsy. It just was like all these good emotions that I had. The characters were phenomenal. I love Butcher, I love Blackbird, I love everything about them. I love the tropes that were used. I love anytime a man says, she's mine, you're mine, goodbye. I'm melted. I am, yes, that is true. She is yours, no one else. Like, I love that trope. I love it so much. This is not enemies to lovers as some people might think it is, because they are in a competition, but at no point are they ever enemies. It is more like, I don't even know how to describe this. It's just a beautiful strangers meet, strangers fall in love. It's just so good. And that epilogue, wow. I'm not gonna tell you what the epilogue is about, but I will say that I didn't see that as an epilogue. Didn't see that one coming. I think this series is gonna be so fun. Like, it's just gonna be such a good time to read and have. I feel like these people, I mean, they're very deranged, but I do feel like I could call these people up and be like, hey, we're doing a barbecue at my house. Like, I just, like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to explain it. I love Blackbird, Sloan. Sloan is Blackbird, and she is just such a sad, like, lonely, broken girl when you first meet her, and then she just grows into this beautiful, stunning type of, like, strong woman. And the way that she cares so much for the people who are just, they're like, she cares so much for the underdogs. Like, she cares so much for people who can't care for themselves. She cares about girls who have been abused, boys who have been abused. Like she cares so deeply for them, and you see that in her journey throughout this book. And then you've got Rowan, he is the butcher, and you just witness his whole journey of being afraid for himself and then being afraid for others. And it's not even that he's afraid for himself, he's afraid that he just is completely dead inside and he can't feel anything. Like, that's what scares him, is that he's not feeling anything on the inside. And then he meets Sloane, and all of a sudden these feelings just erupt from him, and for once, like, he just feels complete. And I think it's just so beautiful watching these two characters intersect, and you can see how he needs her, she needs him. It's one of those things where it's like soulmates, you know? It's just, they just so perfectly fit together, and it's beautiful, it's so fun. And then on top of all that, it's just funny. Like, it's just funny. And I can't, like, I couldn't just like open this book and just read you a passage, because it's all in context. It's one of those things, like, it's one of those things when you tell somebody, like, oh my gosh, the funniest thing happened, this person ate a carrot, and they're like, I don't get it, and you're like, oh, you had to be there. Like, all of this is one of those, like, you just had to be there type of things. But it's so, I feel like I have so many good inside jokes with these two characters. Like, that's how I feel like I have inside jokes with them, and I love that. It just brought me so much closer to the characters, to the plot, to everything about it. I love all of this, and I'm so excited because this has perfectly set up the next two books, and I'm so excited to see what transpires from them. I'm really excited for the epilogue to come into play. Like, all of this makes me so happy, and I feel like she has so much material just in this first book. She has so much material to even do spin-off series, and that's something that, like, is not easy to do in your first book. And I feel like she set this up, like, goodness, the mastermind behind the writing is just fantastic. Like, I have nothing but good things to say about this book, like, except for the ice cream bit. I have bad things about that. But other than that, like, this book is amazing. It's basically perfect. Basically perfect. It's so close. It was so close. I think the only downside is that there were scenes that I was like, there's this one part, it's a smut scene. It's like 30 pages. Like, I'm literally, I think I have it on film where I'm just like, oh, okay, here we go. And like, I just kept going until I could get past it. I was like, how long is this scene? But other than that, it was just so good. It was so good. Nothing but good things. I think I found the book that you want to read, and you can definitely read this in one day. I think I found the book that you want to read on Valentine's Day. So we read 3 books for this little video. We read My Mechanical Romance, which was adorable in and of itself, but just didn't give me the pizzazz that I was looking for. And then there was Icebreaker, which honestly, I think a lot of people would like this book. It just wasn't for me. I didn't meet the criteria to enjoy this book. So that's on me for reading it. That's not on the author. That's not on anyone else. I'm sure there are people that would like this book. It just didn't hit it for me. And then there's Butcher and Blackbird, which just hit all of the good spots for me. And I don't know, that might say something about me, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe I am concerned. Those are the 3 books that I read. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have so many videos planned for this month. I actually feel like, oh, you know what? I've been keeping track of my TBR list, and Butcher and Blackbird was on that TBR. Where did my pen go? Butcher and Blackbird was on my TBR list, so I can cross that out. Fantastic. So now I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really? I just have 5 more books? I'm trying, guys. I'm trying so hard to keep track of my TBR and see like what I'm reading and what I'm not reading. This is nice. It's nice to have 5 books left on my TBR. And technically 2 of them are just for my book club picks. Yeah, 2 of them are for book clubs that I'm in. So really it's just 3 that are actually on my physical TBR and then plus 2 for the book club. I want to know, what are the books that you guys read that are romance that like make your toes curl and you squeal and giggle and all that stuff? I need to know in the comments down below because I want more books like that. I want to be giddy and like very girly and stuff like that. So go ahead and leave those comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, all of that good stuff. And then I will see you guys in the next... Why do I do finger guns? I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, goodbye.